Influencers are positioned to make massive amount of money, not because of their academics or a special skill set, but because of a combination of these things. You see, influencers, they are able to bring something to the table that most people are unable to tell. They are bringing visibility, they are bringing reach, they are bringing impact, they are bringing the ability to optimize client conversion, they are bringing the possibility of cash flow optimization, and more so, they are bringing confidence, trust, and credibility. Now, these are a combined ecosystem that the average persons can learn. And committing the time, the talent, and the resources to learn this can also position you to make massive amount of money. Today, I will do a deep dive into the significant role that influencers play in helping businesses to scale and cash flow optimize and helping the average individual to get visibility. But just before I get into today's program, there's a few groundwork that I want to lay. One is to help you to understand the historical perspective of becoming a social media influencer. And I will also talk to you a bit about burnout, how not to get burnout. So today's program is going to be a pretty exciting program. So if you have ever thought of becoming a social media influencer, perhaps this platform today will help to point you in the right direction, because we're going to be dropping a number of nuggets. And just disclaimer, I have struggled in the field of social media for many years. But guess what? I have committed the time, talent, and resources to learn everything that I'm saying to you. And me and my team, we have been able to attract over 30,000 subscribers to our platform in just about a month and a half to 2 months. And I'm going to share some of those hacks with you, how we did it. So moving forward, you can apply these same strategies. I want to begin the analysis by looking at 4 important social media platforms. You see, when we look at Facebook, what we see is that Facebook has quite a number of persons on the platform. Facebook today has approximately 3.049 billion users per month. So if you are attempting to build visibility, you're attempting to position yourself to be an influencer, whether with your corporate brand or your personal brand, and you're not considering social media, particularly Facebook in this case, you are leaving out on some major opportunity to grow and scale your business. Let's take another example. You have also YouTube. YouTube today has 2.70 billion users. And again, if you have a business or you're thinking about growing and scaling your visibility as an individual, and you don't have a YouTube channel, a YouTube presence, you are not necessarily acting in your best interest. And as I go into today's program, I will tell you why. Now, YouTube alone, we have approximately 122 million users per day. Per day. So they have a lot of traffic flowing through the YouTube platform. And you need to know, when you want to position yourself to become an influencer, position yourself to make impact, position yourself to make massive amount of money. It is also becoming a social media influencer, without a doubt, is one of the fastest ways to cash flow. Largely because you have the know, like, and trust. You have the visibility, the reach, and the impact. Many companies will work with you to endorse their brand, because with your endorsement, they are quickly able to get into and break through the know, like, and trust factor. And there's so much more benefits to becoming an influencer. When we look at Instagram, we see Instagram today, they have approximately 2.4 billion users. So any attempt to optimize corporate or personal brand visibility must take into consideration these platforms, because your audience base, they're also here. LinkedIn, that has been strategically built out to appeal to a corporate client, at the end of 2003, had approximately 900 million users. These are the facts. So you have large bodies of potential consumers, potential clientele base on these platforms. And if you're only using traditional platform to get your message out, to build visibility, reach an impact, and set the stage to cash flow optimize, if you're only using those platforms, you are missing out on tremendous opportunity to enhance your visibility, reach impact, and client and conversion. Becoming visible, becoming a social media influencer is not automatic. There are 8 important concepts that you need to learn, apply, and master when you want to position yourself to become an influencer. And what I will attempt to do today is to walk you through those 8 tenets that you owe it to yourself to learn, apply, and master when you want to be an influencer in the corporate context or in the personal context. Let me just repeat again some of what I would have said before I get into this program. While we see 2.70 billion users and approximately 122 million daily users on YouTube, it is important to recognize that social media is perhaps one of the best, if not the best, social media platform to build visibility, to build relationships, to build the reach, to achieve impact, to optimize client conversion, to significantly drive your business cash flow, and to build confidence, trust, and credibility. You can. All right, you can, but it's not a walk in the park. And I do believe because many persons underestimate what it takes to become a social media influencer. When they attempt to do this and it doesn't work, they get frustrated, they give up, they chop, they go in a corner, and they feel the whole world is against them. Well, I can speak from both sides of the coin because I've spent many years trying to build my social media presence. And what I was able to do after many years of learning the platform, I was able to put a strong team together. And collectively, we are doing the research, we are mitigating the research, we are leveraging the research, and we are seeing tremendous results. Now, millions of people try to produce content and become social media influencers on YouTube. And millions of people become frustrated when their action prove futile on YouTube. It happens. Today, I will talk a lot about how to make it on YouTube. I'm not going to look at LinkedIn a whole lot. I'm not going to look at Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to speak a lot to how to make it on YouTube. You're not able to reach your ideal client, not able to monetize your content. To become a successful YouTube influencer, there are 8 systems you need to master. And I will tell you what those 8 systems are today. Now, to master those 8 systems, they are these headings that you need to take note of. System one is what is content design and presentation structure. You need to focus on this: content design and presentation structure. Second is content research and content creation. Content research and content creation. The third is content delivery and personal branding. Fourth is content recording and content editing. 5 is content upload and social media algorithm. 6 is content SEO optimization. SEO means search engine optimization. The 7th is content promotion. And you really need to focus on this because very often you produce your content, you go through this ecosystem, but then you fail to promote your content. We'll talk a lot about that. And last is content monetization. You do all of this in the right way. And when it comes to monetization, there are multiple avenues to look at when you want to monetize your social media content. All right. There are multiple platforms that are available to you. And once time permit today, I will do a deep dive into that so you have enough information to look at. Now, Remember, I promised to provide you with some content of information because as a social media influencer, it's a lot of work. And the last thing that you want to experience is burnout. So I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you not to get to that point of feeling burnout. There are 5 habits that you need to learn, apply, and master. And habit 1 is to get adequate rest. All right. Getting adequate rest is really going to help you to avoid burnout. Now, what rest does? What is the significance of rest? When you rest, it significantly increases your melatonin. And melatonin is what we call the nighttime neurotransmitters. Now, this translates into serotonin, and the serotonin is the daytime neurotransmitters. It's how the brain fires and wires. It's about your energy level. So when you don't have adequate rest, it translates into low energy. And when you have low energy as a content producer, as an influencer, you tend to feel burnout. So that's one of the first things you want to look at and ensure that you're getting adequate rest. The second habit that you want to learn, apply, and master is to get adequate exercise. Why is exercise so important? It enhances mental alertness and it enhances your physical health. Being an influencer is not just waking up and getting it done. It's about getting it done the right way. You need to have the right mental frame of mind to get things done in the right way. The third habit that you want to learn, apply, and master is eat the right food. Now, not all food is necessarily for everyone, and perhaps you may need to talk to a specialist to help you to figure out what are the best food groups that you should be eating. And your body needs a number of essential minerals, and you need to ensure that the body is getting the daily amount of minerals that the soul deserves. Because again, the food may not necessarily give you everything, so you may have to use those supplements. The fourth habit that you want to learn, apply, and master is invest in quality family time. Now, great leaders, they leave a legacy. Family is an extension of who you are. So invest a lot of time with family. It's going to help you to leave a legacy. Perhaps the work that you're doing to touch and transform people's lives, because you're spending time with family, some of you rub off on them and they continue that process for you. And the last tip here, the last habit, is to invest in a healthy social lifestyle. Yes, relationship is the mother of all social systems, and you need to be certain that you continue to invest in healthy, productive relationships that represents the collective. So I really trust that those 5 tips and habits is something that you can adopt. You can learn it, you can adopt it, you can apply it into your daily life. Now, let's get into today's conversation. One of the 8 concepts that we look at that you need to learn, apply, and master is we look at content design and presentation structure. Now, what exactly does this mean? Before you present your content, you want to design the content. You just don't get in front of the camera and you simply start to speak. You want to figure out how to make a good first impression. You need to have a strong introduction. All right, you need to have a strong introduction. But let's look at the structure. Every presentation must have a structure, and the structure is going to begin with looking at things like the introduction, what is the body, and what is your conclusion. In the simplest term, introduction, body, and conclusion, structure. There are influences that may have more complex structure, but regardless, you need to know the structure and build consistency with this. So let's look at how to present based on this simple structure. You want to attain what we call high impact introduction. High impact introduction. Now, what is high impact introduction? A high impact introduction, it is something that commands attention, pique interest, arouse desire, and has the potential to move the client into action. And this plays a lot on a concept that we call emotional intelligence. Now, for all of this to work, you need intelligence. You need to understand who the content in of itself is being designed for. The content that you're presenting is not for you. And you need to spend as much time as possible to understand your audience, who you're speaking to, what are their pain points, and how your presentation is adding value or fixing a problem. And from the get-go of your presentation, you want to capture this. And if you can go back to revisit how I started this program, you will see that it was designed to achieve high impact. Influencers are strategically positioned to make massive amount of money. Why is that high impact? Because every rising star in business, one of their key focus is to cash flow optimize. And everyone who is on the treadmill working hard, they too want to know how to cash flow optimize. So when you hear influencers are strategically positioned to make massive amounts of money, it has some appeal to you. So in starting your conversation and making your presentation, you want it to be high impact, but before you can achieve high impact, you must be able to establish who is the ideal client. You must be able to establish if what you are saying is relevant to the ideal client. It's important. There's so much to be said when it comes to understanding your ideal client. It makes a lot of sense that if you are going to speak to someone, that you really understand what are their needs and wants and expectations. You want to take the time to understand your audience. And to do it the right way, you may have to embark on things like market research. You want to be an intelligent speaker, all right? And that will give you a tremendous competitive advantage to leverage emotional intelligence to your advantage. So I want you to take note of this. So we talk about the high impact introduction. How about the body? So we're looking at the structure of your presentation: introduction, body, conclusion. The body of your presentation must represent high impact storytelling mastery, high impact storytelling. This too requires skills, because you make a strong introduction by what you said, but are you able to sustain the interest of the audience throughout the presentation? And here is where storytelling, high impact storytelling, comes into focus. Now, to be good at storytelling, it is a necessary skill to have, and that's to leverage word description. Word description really allows you to create the imagery in the minds of your audience in terms of what you're saying. For example, ice cream castle, chocolate factory. Immediately it sends off certain vivid and visual thoughts in the mind of your audience. And you have to be well with this concept. You have to be good with this concept. And it only comes over a period of time, but you can master it. You look at all great influencers, they are either good at telling the story or they're good at showing the story. And as you speak your story, you need to show your story in words. It's a skill. But I am certain that with the right mentorship, coaching, and support, you too can learn this skill, and you could be well on your way to position yourself to become an influencer that can be well placed to make massive amount of money, whether in business or whether you're a private individual. In your presentation, you need to understand climax and anticlimax, how to bring this into the story. All of this play a role in how your message is received. You need to perhaps create the protagonist and antagonist of your story. All of this again plays into how your audience relate to your story. Now, all of this is so important. In our context, we have also talked about mastering the influencer model. And on the influencer model, you have a number of spectrums that you can use to communicate story. You can do this in the educational format, because while you are an educator, as an educator, to become skilled in communicating information, it's important for you to recognize that the student body, they have different pattern of learning. Some may be visual, some may be differently able in how they receive the information. And you need to understand this. And let me give you a quick example of what I'm talking about. My daughter is a visual person. She just can't talk and all the information get across. And I can recall many years ago, while she was at primary school, she was a bit challenged. The teacher called me one day and the teacher said that, I'm trying to communicate liter and centimeter to your daughter for the last 3 days, and she's not grasping the concept. I said, okay, give me a day or two and I'll fix this. Because why? I know my capabilities and I know my daughter most of all. And this is why understanding your audience base is so important. So I went home with my daughter that day and I said, okay, let's create a chalk board. And I know my daughter like Coca-Cola. So what I did, I draw that Coca-Cola bottle on the chalk board with the chalk on the board, and I start to draw lines from one end to the other of that Coca-Cola bottle. And I said, this is 1 liter, 2 liter, 3 liter. And she had now a visual imagery of the information that was being communicated to her. So you as an influencer who wants to connect with your audience, you too need to understand how to apply this. You need to take into consideration that people learn differently. I pull back from there and I say, okay, I show you, you now show me. And she draw the bottle, and she's an excellent artist. She's very, very good an artist. She drew the bottle and she said 1 liter, 2 liter, 3 liter. My case was done. In less than 5 minutes, she had demonstrated a clear mental picture of what liter represent, something that the teacher could not have attained in many days. Is it a child or is it a teacher? Is it the influencer in the classroom? You make a choice. You make a decision. So on centimeter now, I said, okay, well, we're going to go for a race now. So on the board, I use the chalk and I create a track and field. And I put 2 persons running, centimeters. And guess what? In less than 5 minutes, she had liter and centimeter down to a science. Something that a teacher could not have done in days. So this brings into focus everything that I've said above. It is so important to take the time to understand your audience, because you're teaching not for you. You're providing products and services, not necessarily for you. You may have a financial benefit, but if the consumer is not benefiting from you, it's going to undermine your efforts to build money, build wealth from what you're doing. So as a content producer, you're producing content for people. And you need to understand this. And you need to have the skill to clearly communicate this entire process to your audience. You need to take the time to ensure that you understand people, understand their pain point. And as you go after innovating products or services, you need to be fully aware that you're innovating products and services to reach the expectations of the audience and possibly supersede the expectations of the ideal client. That's what's going to position you to win. All right. Now, so you have some ideas now about the strong introduction, high impact introduction. You have some ideas now about the body, high impact storytelling. I even tell a story there short just now. And the last part here is what we call the strong conclusion. Now, what should your conclusion look like? You must have a high impact call to action and possibly a life changer offer. You want to make an offer to your audience that can literally change lives. Well, I can give you a number of tips on that, but I'm going to leave that one for later. I want to also encourage you to come into our YouTube community where we go deeper into these concepts, so you have so much more to walk away with and to apply. Along with that, you're going to be mentored, you're going to be coached, you're going to be given all the support that you need to win as an influencer. So on this particular concept, we talk about content design and presentation structure. So this has brought me to the end of content design and presentation structure. There's a lot more to go into, but in the interest of time, I'm not going to go into all of them. I want to encourage you to go to our website, and you can get some of the books that we have written that will help you to understand these concepts. All right, you can go to bestsellerportal.org and you can learn some of what we are doing. In the event that you need to make direct contact with me when I'm in the Caribbean, you can use the first numbers and my US numbers, because we have multiple operations in the US. You can reach me at the numbers that is shown on screen. Now, the second spectrum that you need to look at, or concept that you need to look at, is what we call content research and content creation. And if you're taking notes, a lot of what I talked about early on emphasize the importance of intelligence, market intelligence. You see, when you're going to the battlefield or to a war, you need to know what you're coming up against. If you hear, hey, there's problems, and all you do is insert yourself into the situation, you just don't know what you're inserting yourself into. Perhaps you go with toy guns, and your competition, they come with AK-47, they come with grenade, they come with drones that is looking at a panoramic view. They come well prepared to make the kill, and you come with a toy gun. So when you know what you are up against, it gives you the tools to do battle the smart way, and the smart way allows you to win. The same principle applies. You don't want to lead your entire army with a blindfold to the battlefield. The same principle applies to business, to you as an influencer. You don't want to enter this space with a blindfold over your eyes. You want to be certain that you have the right information that is going to help you to make better, smarter decisions that enables you to win in the game of chess and in the game of life. So content research, before you come to content creation, is important. So I'm going to do a little deep dive here to at least help you to get the second concept and put you in that position of strength where you can take this second concept and start to get some work done on it. Now, in my last book, and we have 11 volumes on the bestseller portal, I talk a lot about the MVTM. Research your MVTM. I know you may be new to what the MVTM means, but let me explain. Your MVTM is what we refer to as your minimum viable target market or your most viable target market. So whichever demographics or ideal clients you are targeting, what is the minimum? The minimum meaning those that might be not the high income bracket. You need to spend enough time to understand who you're targeting. Or if you're targeting the high income bracket, which is the most viable target market, you need to spend as much time to understand who you're talking to, who you're speaking to, who you're innovating products and service for, because it is the understanding of the audience that is going to help you to innovate with precision. And when you position your value offer as an influencer in front of the ideal client, you're immediately able to command attention, pique interest, arouse desire, move that client into action, make impact, convert, cash flow optimize, and build confidence, trust, and credibility. You see, when you get everything at the beginning right, you have this positive ripple effect that is taking place in your effort to achieve influence with the ideal client. But when you disregard research, you disregard taking the time and understanding who is the ideal client, you undermine everything. And when you do not achieve targeted performance outcome, you get frustrated. I'm trying hard and I'm not achieving the objective. You're not achieving the objective because you do not fully understand your ideal client. So you need to invest time to understand the client. We call it content research before you come to content creation. Don't get to content creation and you didn't do the content research, because this is putting the cart in front of the horse. Is the horse got to lead the cart, not the cart leading the horse. You want to do the research and allow that research information to influence how the content is created. So in the first context, we talk about content design and presentation structure. Now we're talking about content research and content creation. Now, I'm just going to go a little bit deeper into this. When we talk of content research and content creation, there's a number of things that must come to mind. One, are you collecting information? In many cases, it might be collecting sensitive information about the ideal client, because it is your ability to collect this body of knowledge, this information, that is going to help you to make informed decisions. You need to know how to access that information. So when you want to win, when you want to be clinical, when you want to position your products and services to appeal with predictable outcome, having this body of knowledge that I'm talking about right now is absolutely relevant to that. So there are four important things to take away here. Are you collecting the right information? Are you analyzing the right information? Are you leveraging the right information to command attention, pique interest, arouse desire, move the client into action, make impact, convert, cash flow optimize? And are you mitigating data in accordance with market shifts and market realities? So all of these things are things that needs to be done. And what I'm saying is apply to business, and it applies to you, the one person who wants to be an influencer, because becoming an influencer is a strategic business. I have known of sports influencers who are able to sign endorsement and they walk away with millions of dollars. And all they do, they put their signature. They're going to appear at some press conferences. Their names are going to be used. And they're throwing back and they're making money because their influencer brand is working for them. So that's the first element that we're talking about. But are you aware of what type of information are you going to be collecting? So when we say collect the right information, what type of information should you be collecting? Knowing that is very important. All right, I'm not going to go into it now, but I'm going to give you some hints here. Now, every person have a castle that they're interested in. For example, some people likes the ice cream castle, and I'm speaking figuratively here. Some people like the chocolate castle, and some people like the wealth building castle. You need to put yourself in a position of strength to know your audience. Are you speaking to an audience that likes the chocolate castle or the ice cream castle? Or are you speaking to an audience that prefers the wealth building castle? Because if you're talking to an audience that needs to know more about the wealth building castle, you can lose them when you start to speak of the chocolate castle. And let me give an example. Wealthy people, yes, they have a lot of money, but you can't talk to them necessarily about financial intelligence because a lot of it they know it. So you have to talk to them about smart wealth creation strategies, and you have to make it make sense. So you need to understand your audience, and that's what makes your presentation so much more impactful. That's what makes it more impactful. So these are important concepts for you to have, for you to own, and for you to apply. Now, as we look at content research and content creation, I want to introduce you to another concept because you need to understand it as a content producer. In terms of content creation, you want to create content that is going to have the highest degree of impact on your MVO. And I'm going to talk to you just now about the MVO. The MVO in this context is what we call your minimum viable offer. Your minimum viable offer or most viable offer must be designed to have high impact. And your minimum and most viable offer cannot have high impact unless, first of all, you are researching your content and you're researching your audience. And you're ensuring that your value offer is relevant to your audience. It's important. So these are important concepts for for you to have, for you to own, and for you to master. Let me break this down a little bit here also. Even when you're skilled at what you're doing, one of the reasons we designed the MVO is to really get people, especially rising stars in this field, to master this concept. When you hear about the MVO, things that you want to come to mind immediately is what is your 1 in 10 factors of brand selection? Now, we are fully aware that as a rising star in your field, because of how you're trained, you have multiple concepts that are flowing through your mind at the same time. What we are saying to you is silent the multiple things that are coming and select one that you know you can amplify. Select one that you know you're good at. Select one that you can build your story on and people want to follow that story. So it's like we have the part 1, 2, and 3 is a series and you're focusing on a particular area. Okay? It's 1 in 10 factors of brand selection. You select the 1, not the 10, because the 10, depending on where you are, based on everything else that I'm going to be saying in this presentation, you need to be aware of it. Because going with multiple things, you need more human resources, you need more technical resources, you need more capital resources to move that vision forward. This simple podcast that I'm doing here with you, I have multiple parties who are invested in this. So when I finish with this, it has to go over to my editing team. They have to edit and refine. It has to be go to do the SEO, search engine optimization. The graphic designer has to do thumbnails, all of which we are supposed to be covering in this presentation once time permits. So it's a number of moving parts that has to be covered. And if you do multiple things, it's you don't have deep pocket. It's going to undermine what you're attempting to do. So you want to design high impact MVO, minimum viable or most viable offer, and focus on the 1. Now, this is as much I'm going to say today on content research and content creation. The third concept that I'm going to be looking at today is content delivery and personal branding. Content delivery and personal branding. So let me quickly recap some of what I would have expressed early on before going into the third. In fact, I may not even go into the third because we have already spent here about 48 minutes. And I don't want to overwhelm you with all of the information at one time. So we will probably do a part 2 and 3 because we have only been able to look at 2 of the concepts and we have not even exhaust the depths and breadth of the information here. All right, so I don't want to overwhelm you with too much of information. So let me quickly recap some of what we looked at. Today, we talk about a lot of issues. We talk about the fact that if you want to make it as a social media influencer, you have tremendous opportunities out there. Becoming a social media influencer is one of the fastest ways to position yourself to build wealth, without a doubt. All right, without a doubt. You can take all of your knowledge, you can align that knowledge to people. You might be a doctor and you have some time on your hands and you want to educate people on, best medical practices. And you can become an influencer because you're already a subject matter expert. A subject matter expert. That is going to go far way in helping you to build visibility, reach, impact, client conversion, cash flow optimization, and more confidence, trust, and credibility because of the credibility that you're coming with. You're a doctor. You have studied for years in your field, and you understand what you're doing. So that creates another stream of income. And there's so much more that can come out of that. I promise you, before we exhaust this series, we are going to be looking at all of those concepts to really help you to understand how to position yourself to be an influencer, either as a corporate influencer or building your personal brand and being an individual influencer, social media influencer. We also went into the fact that when we look at social media, Facebook in particular, we see 3.049 billion users on a monthly basis. YouTube has 2.70 billion users at approximately 122 million users on a daily basis, not weekly or monthly, daily basis. So you have a lot of viewership moving through here. And when you understand this, how to use this platform is going to set you up for success. On Instagram, we have 2.4 billion users. And on LinkedIn, we have approximately 900 million users on this platform. Now, we spoke about this among other things, but in conclusion, what I wanted to say is that it's not about putting that camera on and shooting, recording yourself and uploading content. To make it as a social media influencer, there is so much more that needs to be considered. As I said at the beginning, it's not automatic. You need to understand what is search engine optimization. The first thing that people see about you may not be you. It may, in the social media context, it may be your thumbnail, but is that thumbnail built out to appeal to the ideal client? All of that is what we're going to be getting into as we go deeper into this program to ensure that you are getting everything right. You have to understand, title search. You have to understand description. You have to understand keywords. So there's a lot that needs to be unpacked here that I will not go into today because we spend approximately now almost an hour. So I'm going to just pause here and give you some time to digest this bit of information. And we will do a few other parts until we come to the conclusion of this body of knowledge. Now, in conclusion, I want to say this. We want to help you to master this body of knowledge. We truly believe that becoming a social media influencer, surrounding yourself with social media influencers, leveraging social media influencer, it can definitely play a pivotal role in how you position yourself to make money. The title of our channel here is Habits and Money. So we're going to talk to you a lot about business. We're going to talk to you a lot about money and cash flow optimization. And social media influencer definitely is at the top of that mountain when it comes to positioning yourself to make money. Now, we just don't want to introduce you to these concepts and just leave you hanging. We have built out an ecosystem to provide you with the information, to provide you with the mentorship, to provide you with the coaching, to provide you with the support to get to understand what we are saying. And in this particular case, you have the information. So you can take this information, you can go work on it on your own. There's no problem in that. That's why we're doing this. But in the case that you need someone on your side, to someone who have been there, done that, who have tested it time and time again and know how to navigate the gray spots, You want that person as your mentor, your coach. You want to be part of a supportive community. We can help you with that. I just want you to go to this website, which is bestsellerportal.org. And when you go to the bestsellerportal.org, the website that is on your screen right now, you will see it. The first thing that you will see is 1 Degree to Success. This is a beautiful program that we have designed just for you. All right. There are many more programs. So scroll the first page, you're going to see 1 Degree to Success. And one of the immediate takeaway that you will get from this program is how to master the art and the science of success. Now, if you want to be successful, it makes sense to pause a bit and ask yourself, what is success, first of all? What is success? And we created 3 spectrums of success, and you need to know this, because what you might be going after might be average success, all right? Not major success. But regardless of what success you want to accomplish, you need to also ask yourself, is there an art to achieve this end results? Is there a science to attain this end result? And success leaves clues. And if you don't know that clues, it means that you're going to be chasing after success instead of attracting success in the right way. This program really unlocks all of this information and sets you up for success. All right. There's so much more information for you to take away from this platform, and I really want to encourage you to go get it. Go to bestsellerportal.org and peruse this site. The second program that you can learn here is Business Success Blueprint. Now, again, success leaves clues. And if you want to be successful in business, what are those clues that are out there that you can use to optimize your pathway to success and create wealth for yourself? So on this program, we talk a lot about the importance of the leadership ecosystem. You see, in building an organization, you need to have 3 types of leaders. You need to have your strategic leadership, your tactical leadership, and your operational leadership. It's not just about having the infrastructure set, but it's about filling the infrastructure with the critical human resources to move the vision forward. And you need to understand what this looks like, because if you don't, the possibility exists that you're shooting in the blank, you're shooting in the dark, or you're shooting with that blindfold over your eyes. So you don't know whether you're hitting target or not. You might hit target 10 times and give up just at the 11th hour when you should have been plugging away right here to get the conversion that you want. But because you don't know what you don't know. This platform really gets you into that frame of mind of knowing what needs to be known to help you to make better, smarter decisions. Now, take some time, go look at this website. There is so much more here for you to learn. And the program that I want to come to is the program that we actually talk about today. On this platform, you will also learn, we have another program that we have designed, we call it the GIP Initiative. Join GIP Initiative today. And what GIP stands for? It stands for Global Influencers Partners Program. Now, if you're a rising star in business and you are not thinking about the important role that the global influencers can play in your business, you're undermining the growth potential of your brand. Seriously. All right, you're undermining the growth potential of your brand. And what we want to do is to provide you on this platform with the kind of information that will help you to become that global influencer and up-level, leapfrog your brand visibility, reach, and impact, client conversion, cash flow optimization, confidence, trust, and credibility. This platform is designed to do all of that and so much more. One of the first takeaway that you will get from this program is how to master the fastest way to cash flow your brand. Yes. Some businesses take a year, 2 year, 5 years to reach the break-even point. Is there a faster way to do this? We tend to examine all of the possibilities. We do that analytics. So when you're making a decision, you have the data upon which you're making that decision. And we have a number of best practices that can set you up to cash flow your operation. Again, I would have said that becoming a social media influencer is without a doubt one of the fastest ways to cash flow. This also sets the stage to attract multiple streams of income. For example, there are many social media platforms that pay you to produce content. That's one stream of income. Because you are now visible, you have many brands want you to endorse their brand. That's another stream of income. Because you're an influencer, you may have campuses that are reaching out to you to give a lecture on a particular subject matter. That's another stream of income. And when you understand how to play this chess move or these chess moves, it sets you up for success. And the GIP initiative, the Global Influencers Partners Program, is set to move you in that direction. All right, it is set to move you. So these are very important concepts that you want to hold very close to your heart and really commit that time to learn, apply, and master. I'm giving you the information, but again, I said, if you need that added support, the mentor, the coach, that supportive community, a sponsor to help you navigate the realities of what I'm talking about here, we are here for you. All right, we are here for you. So reach out to us, whether you're in the Caribbean or you're in the US, and we are committed to that process of providing you with essential information that can transform how you position yourself to become an influencer. So with that, my friends, I want to encourage you to like, subscribe, and share this channel. All right. I want to thank over 30,000 new subscribers who have supported this platform, supported me on this platform. And I'm seeing that we have over 70% of those persons who are viewing the programs who have not yet subscribed. I want to encourage you to subscribe. Press that subscription button. One, you will be the first to get these information that we are bringing. Two, you can also tell us some of the content you want us to bring to you, and we will bring those contents. And I want to promise you that the high level of commitment that we have for what we are doing, we will continue to bring you better and better and better programs all the time. All right. So do subscribe. Be blessed and have a great rest of the weekend.